It's a good day in and around the Philadelphia area. The Philadelphia Eagles are back in action to kick off the 2025 NFL season against their division rival Dallas Cowboys at home in South Philadelphia at the Link, raising their Super Bowl banner in front of the Cowboys. Can't wait. I'm excited about it. Now, not good because the Phillies are coming off a loss to the Brewers last night on Wednesday. They lost that ball game 6-3. The series is split 1-1 heading into today, Thursday's afternoon ball game series finale there in Milwaukee. Starts at 4:10 local time here in the Philadelphia area. Ranger Suarez on the mound trying to get a series victory for the Phillies against a very, 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 very good Milwaukee Brewers team. Welcome into Phillies Daily, everybody. I'm your host, Mike Henley. Make sure you guys subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Big reason the Phillies lost that ball game last night on Wednesday is because of how they started that ball game. Aaron Nola, we all know, having a very unusual, very just poor season here in 2025. He wasn't very good before he landed on the IL for the extended period of time. He hasn't really been that great since he's been back. Now he's had shown some flashes in his couple of starts here since the IL, but overall, just not the same Aaron Nola we're used to from his long career here with the Phillies. He used to be an ace-worthy pitcher. He used to be one of the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball. Just not the case here in 2025. Very unusual. A lot of weird things going on with his mechanics, his command. Just not what we're used to seeing out of Aaron Nola. And that was on full display, unfortunately, last night in that loss. Put the Phillies in a very early hole there against a very good Brewers team. And you just can't do that against good teams like that. Very unlikely to come back and win those ball games, and the Phillies did fall short and lost that game 6-3 despite making a little bit of a comeback. Just couldn't do it enough and complete that comeback. Now Aaron Nola, again, first inning has been a major issue with him all year in 2025 here before he was injured, and since he's come back from his injury, same thing happened yesterday in that loss to the Brewers. He allowed bases loaded with no outs, including a walk and a hit by pitch in that sequence. Just can't be starting games like that. A good team like the Brewers are going to take advantage. They're at least going to score a run, maybe two or more, and then that just really puts your team in a hole and spirals out of control, and tough to come back and win a ball game like that. Now, bases loaded, no outs in the first inning He also then allowed a weak pop-up into shallow center field. He made a good pitch. Batter just put it where the Phillies were not. Unfortunately, the ball did drop in front of Harris and Bader out there in center field. A run scored. Unfortunately, again, Bader attempted to throw a runner out at third to Alec Bohm. Bad throw, went by Bohm. Another run scored on that throwing error, so the Brewers took an early 2-0 lead off of that weak, shallow hit to center field. And then, in classic Aaron Nola fashion, we all know he's got trouble with the long ball. He allowed on the very next batter a 3-run home run. Brewers took a 5-0 lead. Now, credit to Aaron Nola. He could have been out of that ballgame really after that first inning. He did settle in, and he got, especially in that first inning, got out of that jam still. Not really that it was a jam. There was no more runners on base, but still just allowed 5 runs there in the first inning. And then he got 2 strikeouts and a flyout to end that first inning. The Brewers did have a 5-0 lead, as I said. A 32-pitch first inning for Aaron Nola. But again, a little bit of credit goes to him for settling in a little bit and getting a little bit deeper into that ball game without letting up too much more damage throughout it. I'll get to that in a second. Now, another unacceptable thing there. We all know the Phillies defense has not been great here in 2025, whether it's just throwing errors, mental mistakes, whatever it may be, just not good for a championship caliber team like the Phillies are. We saw that again with Bader's throw, obviously there, that scored a run on that error to make it 2-0 Brewers. Again, outfield miscommunication there in the very next inning, in the second inning, again with Harrison Bader and Weston Wilson out in left field. Ball hit deep to left center to the warning track. Very, very good hit right in the middle of both Bader and Wilson. Both were trying to catch the ball. Both were communicating with each other. Both attempted to slide and catch that ball, collided. Now, it did actually hit off of Weston Wilson's glove, but still, tough play for either one of them. They both kind of hit each other on those sliding attempts. The ball dropped, and then the Brewers got a triple out of that. Runner on third with just 1 out. Another chance to have a big inning there in the second inning with that runner 90 feet away with less than 2 outs trying to score another run. Again, credit to Aaron Nola, he did get out of that, recording 2 big strikeouts like he did in the first inning to get out of that inning without allowing a run and keeping that at a 5-0 game with the Brewers on top. I did mention Nola did settle in after that tough first inning. He did make it through 5 innings, which again, 32 pitches in the first inning. He could have been out of there right after that first inning, in that first inning, even if he didn't get those 2 strikeouts and the flyout to end it after allowing that 3-run home run. He did settle in, make it through 5 innings, save the bullpen a little bit. He allowed just 3 hits, 1 walk, and run. Also recorded 4 strikeouts after that first inning. So again, if it wasn't for that first inning, he would have had a solid start. Unfortunately, another first inning blow up for Aaron Nola. His final line was 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 walks, 6 earned runs, and 6 strikeouts in that loss to the Brewers. Command was off last night. Command has been off all of 2025. Walks, just not locating his pitches well, allowing these home runs, allowing hard hits. And he really needs to dial in and figure things out in this final stretch of the regular season and into the postseason, because without Zach Wheeler, he is the veteran of the staff, and he needs to step up without Wheeler here if the Phillies have any chances of trying to win a World Series in 2025. He can't be putting his team in early holes. Again, he's had major struggles in the first inning. Tough to come back, especially against these good teams like the Brewers and these teams they'll face come October in the playoffs. And you also can't be making these defensive mistakes as a championship caliber team. These one little mistakes like that are going to prove costly when you're playing these good teams like it did against the Brewers last night and any other team they're going to play in the playoffs. You're just not going to win ball games like that, and you're not going to win championships like that. The Phillies need to figure out a lot of things, including their defense, including Aaron Nola, including hitting with runners in scoring position has also been a problem. The bullpen, they got to figure a lot of things out in these last 20 or so games before they get into October and trying to win a World Series. Now, the Phillies did make a little bit of a comeback in that loss to the Brewers yesterday. They're never out of these ball games. They always have these late inning comebacks all year long. They come back and win some of these games. They come up and fall a little bit short like they did last night. But it's great to see they're always fighting, and that is a good trait for a playoff team, a championship caliber team like the Phillies. Again, early 5-0 lead for the Brewers. The Phillies did chip away a little bit. Trey Turner hit an RBI single in the 5th inning to score the Phillies' first run of the ballgame, and Weston Wilson made that miscommunication with Harrison Bader in the 2nd inning out in the outfield, but he had a 2-run home run in the 7th inning for the Phillies to have 3 runs. Again, Nola's 6 earned runs, just too much to overcome against the Brewers. He did allow another run later in that ball game after those 5 runs. So, just not great position for the Phillies to try to make that comeback. They did score those 3 runs, but still, after that first inning, 5-0, that's really all that proved. That's all the Brewers really needed to beat the Phillies. Again, only the Phillies scoring 3 runs and Nola allowing 5 runs in just the first inning alone. The Phillies did have chances to complete that comeback. They were just 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position. As I just said, that's been a major issue, a major problem with this team, with this offense throughout some stretches here in 2025. Just can't hit with the runners in scoring position. Now, they do have bounce-back games where they're incredible with runners in scoring position, but last night just couldn't get the job done against the Brewers, and it came in a result with a 6-3 loss to even up that series 1-1 heading into today, a Thursday's afternoon series finale there in Milwaukee, trying to get this series victory. We did see Orion Kirkring pitch last night for the Phillies. He came into 2025 with huge expectations. 24 years old. He's had success throughout his early parts of his career. People thought he could be an all-star here in 2025. Just not the case. Not consistent enough for Orion Kirkring. A little bit of frustration there. If he could have been more consistent all season long, this Phillies bullpen would have been a lot better. He's shown a lot of good flashes. He has shown flashes of being an all-star worthy reliever, but just too much inconsistency out of the young reliever there for the Phillies. He did have a nice 1-2-3 7th inning against the Brewers in that loss last night on Wednesday. He recorded 2 strikeouts, reached 96 miles per hour, and he looked a lot more confident than he has as of late. Again, he had high expectations coming into this year. First month of the season in April, 6.52 ERA, not the way you want to start your year, but then he dialed in the next 2 months at a 0.87 ERA in May, a 0.82 ERA in June, and then again has struggled as of late, 3.86 ERA in July, which isn't horrible, but isn't that sub-1 ERA he had both in May and June. And then in August, a little bit higher, 4.63 ERA. He has a 3.10 ERA with 54 strikeouts in 52 1/3 innings here in 2025. He's also blown 6 saves. Doesn't really have that opportunity anymore with Joan Duran on the Phillies and Jose Alvarado back as well after that suspension for the regular season before the playoffs. But Kirk Ring, good to see that 1-2-3 inning out of him last night. Even though the Phillies lost, he looked a lot better, and hopefully that's a good sign for things to come for him. Hopefully he can get back to where he was in May and June here in this final month of September and right into the playoffs, because with him pitching well, the Phillies have a great shot in the back end of their bullpen with him, Duran, Matt Strahm, all those guys closing out games for the Phillies, Tanner Banks as well. We'll see what happens. Hopefully that is just a step in the right direction for Orion Kirkring and the Phillies bullpen, despite losing that game overall 6-3 to the Brewers last night. Now, Trey Turner, I mentioned, had an RBI single for the Phillies in that loss. He has been incredible at the plate for the Phillies here in 2025. His defense has also been an issue in the past, but his defense has been a lot better as well here in 2025. I feel like he's not getting enough credit for that. But Trey Turner overall having an incredible season for the Phillies and proving why he got that $300 million contract a few years back. He has the highest batting average entering today in the National League at 302. He has the second most hits in all of Major League Baseball, 4 behind Bo Bichette of the Toronto Blue Jays. And he has a comfortable lead over the third place guy with the third most hits in Major League Baseball. Incredible season for Trey Turner. That RBI single last night, he was 2 for 4, another multi-hit game for the Phillies shortstop. He also worked a walk against the Brewers, so he was on base 3 times in his 5 at-bats on Wednesday. Now, if he does end up having this National League leading batting average, where he does have it right now at 302 with just about 20-ish, a little bit more than 20 games left to play here in 2025, he will earn his second career batting title of his really just very good MLB career. He had his first batting title back in 2021 between the Washington Nationals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. He led all of Major League Baseball, not just the National League, with a 328 batting average there in 2021 between those two teams. Again, 302 here in 2025, a ton of multi-hit games. He's very hot for the Phillies, and it's great. He's a tone setter at the top of the lineup. He's got to continue this going right through this last month of the season into the playoffs. We all know the Phillies offense kind of stunk last year in that first round of the playoffs against the Mets, which resulted in that 4-game loss and early playoff exit. Turner wasn't great in that series. He needs to continue to keep on hitting, keep on getting on base at the top of the Phillies order, and good things will come for the rest of the order with Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, and all those guys hitting right behind him. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Phillies Daily. Hopefully the Phillies get back on track here on Thursday, pick up this win, series finale win, and get another series win overall against a very good Brewers team heading into a first a 3-game series against the Marlins, and then a huge 4-game series against the New York Mets at home. Series of the year type of feeling there for the Phillies. We'll see what happens. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Phillies content right here on Phillies Daily. Go Phils, go Birds. Let's get these wins here on Thursday. Thank you guys again for watching. See you guys tomorrow.